Good morning.
Time for more morning steam, Mindy.
I know we made it another day, Ramon.
Yeah, I was thinking about not showing up after last night's game, but we got a lot of things we got to tackle here on the betting board today, including another trip to the National League. Awkward schedule, right? Why do the American League teams get the day off early and not the National League
Yeah,
teams? I don't
it
know.
was very interesting. How they're going to flip flop that and play, a couple games here or there.
No, I wasn't disappointed. We'll talk about the baseball in a moment. I mean, I don't know. It was the main thing we could talk about, I guess. But all I saw, I don't know if you saw Mattress Mac, the famous furniture salesman in Houston. He's on the line, Mindy, if the Astros can win. And he doesn't fudge this information. I mean, his gambling is public knowledge. Uh, he's in line with the casinos to take home a cool $75 million if the Astros could win the World Series. Now, I don't know how he pulls that off or what casinos are giving him that type of action, but
Right.
he sure looked like a man last night that was one win closer to $75 million. I mean,
Holy
I don't
crap.
even get that excited about a baseball game, but anybody who didn't see Mattress Mac, you can Google, or you could just type him into the Twitter search and see him. But what a comeback! I had actually had a premium on the Mariners and won with a run line, but
Yeah, but unreal.
what a game! It's got to be demoralizing for the Mariners to have such a
A
great
big lead.
performance, but
Yeah.
you
It
know.
re-
They got the win. Maybe the Mariners can draw the fact that they led, and did so well in the game. But let's go over to our website and take a look. I don't think we're quite updated over there, but I
yeah.
did have that premium winner yesterday in that game. And, well, I thought, other than that, the baseball action, you know, what'd you think?
Yeah, well, I went 2-1 on the day, so I had actually the first five with Verlander, and that was totally destroyed. And then I had the first five with Urias. So I won there, and I lost with Verlander, and then I pulled off my win for. I had the Thunder, which was your free pick yesterday in the NBA. So came out with a winner there on the premium side.
Yeah, maybe, there's a big hockey card with the 6 games, and I don't know if I'll have a premium. I want to deal a premium soon, maybe in the NBA preseason as we wind down here. And I had a pretty good day yesterday compared to the day before, so build a little bit of confidence there. But we just got such a big card, just not sure that my handicap is totally great. Just relying on the numbers really when it comes to preseason basketball right
Right.
now, kind of almost like a league-wide trends too, and take a look at our website, Tony'sPicks.com. You see Mindy's got an MLB playoff guaranteed best bet today, and you can check out all of our premium
With
picks.
football emojis. Look at that. That was
Wow,
not very
nice.
good of me.
Good. Who's the editor over there? Anyway, um, Sam's back. He's ready to roll in hockey. I have my hockey package up for the season. Take a look also at the pick ticker where you see Paul. He's involved in the Champions League, and he'll have action today on Marseille and Lisbon over there. So you can also catch his previews of the games. He had probably going to go with live coverage today at 2:15 Eastern, 11:15 Pacific. In the morning here in the West Coast in the afternoon. There is 2 early games, however, but it looks like Paul going to be involved in the main part of the action, and Tony T's got a $15 premium in Major League Baseball as he continues to do well. And there's my MLB primetime playoff premium pick as well. So, all right. We should probably move on and get a little bit into the action with this big card today. Mindy, we certainly want to cover the major league games, just 2 of them, and then 6 hockey games. And also, folks, we're going to continue our college football coverage today with, another, 10 games or so, 9 or 10 games from the Saturday card. Tonight's game, Louisiana against Marshall. We did a preview of that game, Mindy. Oh, help me out. Monday or Tuesday? Was it Tuesday?
I
Yeah.
think I was gonna say
No,
Monday.
Monday. It had to be Monday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we rolled our college football coverage out on Monday. Thank you. That's why I knew you could remind me. And so if you want to see our pick, and Tony's pick is out in that game as well, you can go to the YouTube channel and find our picks. Just type in, Louisiana, Marshall, Tony's picks. You'll probably get both videos. And Mindy, you can also catch this apparently on podcasts worldwide.
Right. Yeah. While you're working out now, you can listen, or if you're on the train or in your car, you can listen instead of having to watch. So yeah, Tony was pretty pumped about the podcast. I don't blame him. He's excited to be ahead of the market, and what a place to be. So he's doing good work. I'm pretty proud of him.
Yeah, and I feel fortunate to be.
Hmm.
I would never be able to do this type of distribution of this stuff. I mean, it's hard enough to do the work that we're doing. And Tony set everything in place, and you could be a part of the team too. Just contact him through the footer menu, and you can be a part of our crew. We're looking for stuff like that. Anyways, Mindy. So yeah, the ULL Marshall game. You can get the information, the video pics, and all that on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, where we previewed the game. A little teaser. We disagreed, and then. I'm not going to tell you if you didn't see it. We want you to go maybe check it out. But we disagreed on it, and then you know what happened, Mindy? Tony agreed with you. So
Oh
we're
my
going to say
goodness.
exactly what happened in that one and who has what. But
Right.
it's Mindy and Tony
Ganging
against
up on
me. And
Ramon.
now that I'm looking at it, I'm kind of like, oh no, maybe that is the wrong situation. Okay. So, anyways, so that's that game, and that goes for the next couple of days too of college football action. Our previews are already up, and you can get them on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. I don't remember what Tony says. I want to quote him on the on the podcast. He's got kind of a catchphrase there, and it's just escaping me right now. But all right,
I can't help either.
let's get into the picks rapid fire and start to cover the action for today, including Major League Baseball. I don't know if you want to. I asked you to, if you had anything maybe in the American League as far as the other game with Cleveland and Yankees. Did you have any comment on it before?
Well, Cleveland was just really, really sloppy, and again, it's one of those that the Yankees, took advantage there. Got a couple of runs in before the fifth inning. I can't remember exactly where, but
hard to walk a couple guys.
Well, yeah, and then you let a ball get under your legs, and the guy gets a triple, and then you throw the ball around at second. Judge gets over to third. I mean, just pretty sloppy play for some playoff time. So you can't really deserve to win versus a team like the Yankees when you're fooling around out there on defense. So I think Yankees had situational play, but I think Quantrill, I think he pitched pretty well.
Yeah, no, I mean he's got a promising future. I don't know if they've talked more about his dad than I've ever seen him on the national broadcast, and look how long his dad pitched quite a long time, right?
Yeah.
So, Cal Quantrill, we're kind of comparing him to Mike Messina, being from Stanford and a 3-year graduate and all that, and he is kind of an impressive guy. Just a tough situation to be pitching in Yankee Stadium, in that first playoff game. And so, okay, but we'll talk about the National League now, and we'll get rolling with our free picks rapid fire. We'll take a look first at the game between Philadelphia and Atlanta. Wheeler, now we're back, right? We're back into the good pitching here for Philadelphia with Wheeler going against Wright. And Wright, just making sure here, we got about $1.40 or so, and the total 7/20.
Yeah, I mean, wow, the Phillies, right? I mean, just taking advantage of every, situation thus far. Good situational hitting, been good pitching. They kind of let those, 5 runs get away from them there, late in the game to kind of have a little bit of an Atlanta comeback. But you have Wheeler on the mound. He's 10-7, 3.16 ERA versus Wright, 2-3 with a 3.86 ERA versus the Phillies, and again, it's one of these, like, for me, it's kind of hard for me to get off of Atlanta at -135, but I think the Phillies are just in this really, really good spot right now. I'm going to take the Phillies today. as the underdog, plus 110. I have to hope that their, bullpen stays intact in this one. It's again, like I said, I have like this push and pull with this one, as I know that Atlanta is overall the better team. But I just think situationally, if they were going to win a game, it probably would have been this one. And so I'm going to still stick that they're going to win this one anyway. I'm taking the Phillies here, plus 110.
I'd like to welcome Giorgio. Pleasure to have you with us as part of our team, giving us Atlanta here at $1.35. He says. Did you say run line, Mindy, or money line?
No, I'm going to just take the Phillies here, plus
Okay.
110 on the money line.
Okay, don't mind that at all. That was impressive. What they did yesterday. It was exciting too to see him come out like that and play so well. It didn't go well for us in the picks, but really a stunner to get off to a good start. Mindy says going to come back with them here today, and that total seems to be rising. I did update it there to about 7. Maybe it's actually 7 over 25 at a lot of places. Hasn't yet. It did creep up at a few places to a 7.5 so far, which I do find a bit interesting. But I don't know. I think for me, I'm going to lean to the over in this one. I think the offense, you saw what happened yesterday. Look what Giorgio said as well, right?
Yeah, I know. Like that's one of those things that, it worries me, right? When I'm making this play, but if I take those 5 runs out of consideration, that puts me on the Phillies in this game, and that's why I was sticking with that pick. So I understand that is a little bit of concern because I know that the Phillies bullpen, are they going to be on or off? So I'm counting on a Phillies bullpen being able to carry them after a good outing here, by Wheeler.
Yeah, Atlanta's had a little bit of, they definitely gave up a few, but they've had Phillies bullpens over a 6 ERA really down the stretch here last 10 games, and Atlanta just a little bit over a 2 ERA. But I'm going to go over the 7 in the opening game here on Wednesday. All right,
Those Cubbies, go.
All right. Well, I wasn't totally disappointed. I mean, of course I was, but I mean, I'm not disappointed in the fight that the Padres showed to come back from that 5-0 deficit, giving themselves one decent opportunity to get back in the game that resulted in a double play, and then another short rally that didn't really amount to much. But considering the situation and my, lack of a positive attitude, I wasn't totally disappointed with the way that the Padres played. But they're up against it again here with Kershaw, but they do have your guy on the mound, Yu Darvish, and if anything, the price is probably too high on Kershaw.
I tend to agree with that. We knew Clevenger was going to have issues going into that game. I think we were just kind of hoping that the bats would, be able to hang in there. I didn't expect them to go five runs off of Clevenger kind of thing. But, I thought that, the Dodgers would probably be able to take this one. Now, I think this is a totally different story here. I just love this matchup. Can't wait for this game. I mean, this is going to be, I think, pretty epic here between these two guys here tonight. Darvish, he's 3-5 versus the Dodgers, 3.49 ERA at Dodger Stadium. Kershaw, on the other hand, really has the upper hand here versus the Padres, 23-9 with a 2.03 ERA. But he is, just 1-0 this season, 0.75 ERA in his first 2 starts. I can't go wrong with you, Darvish. I feel crazy that I'm, taking 2 underdogs today. But I love San Diego here in this matchup. I'm going to take San Diego on the money line today.
Well, I'm glad that you do. Certainly. I'm going to update it here. I'm showing this total dropping further now to probably 7 over 15. So pretty significant little dip here, I would say. And I think that's probably the direction I'll end up going as. Whoops.
Whoa.
That'll probably be the direction that I end up going as well. I'm going to take the under again after losing yesterday with the under with the 8 runs scored. But again, Dodgers racked up the runs right against Clevenger, and we were hoping for a better outing. He's not, up to par, up to postseason to be able to handle it right now. There's no doubt
Right.
about that. And Urias, what can you say? He's just dynamite once again. Got his team into the bulk of the bullpen, and they did a fine job too. So good on you, Dodgers. Good job there. But I'll take the under in this one, and I'll take it at 7. And you guys may be able to get that 7 over, but I'll take it under at 7. And Giorgio's got a comment there. Yeah. Kershaw's not the
Yeah.
same Kershaw. He's had some injury woes again. You kind of wonder how much of that was rest, though, as well, towards the end of the season. Maybe he had, slight discomfort or something, but, kind of came back on his own terms, wasn't rushed back or anything. So,
But I kind of think though that the Dodger or the Padres, they were able to get to Urias there, and it looked like he kind of got tired. There when they scored those 3 runs basically. I mean, so I still think that the Padres have a lot of fight in them, and I like where they stand in this position here today.
yeah, and they do have other different bats that are kind of coming through, which really wasn't always the case during the season. They were just so inconsistent offensively and sometimes downright poor. So, all right. Well, we'll see what
All right,
happens. I'll
it's
be,
gonna be a fun one today.
I was pretty upset there for an inning or two, especially on that double play, but because that was the chance.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to get into the National Hockey League, and today with 6 games after yesterday's 2-game card. Be fully underway here in the NHL. We'll start it off taking a look at Boston and Washington. I'm going to include the goalies now until we get to a point where we're because there have been some movement of goalies, and maybe if there's just too many question marks. But I think most of the goalies for these opening games pretty solid here. You're going with mostly number ones. So how about this one, Mindy, with Boston and Washington? You have Washington a favorite here, about $1.50. I'm going to bring up the lines, Tony style here, just to make sure they haven't changed since I entered them in. But you do have Washington here, $1.50, and the total is 6 over 20. Maybe
Yeah,
6
I
over
mean,
15.
yeah, it's going to be interesting here because, the Bruins are starting off with their new head coach and a lot of players on the IL after some postseason surgeries. Bruins were second in scoring last season, but I think they're going to be concentrating more on defense as well. Capitals also be without some players because of injuries, to start the season. But the Capitals have 2 new goalies this season, so it'll be interesting to see how this one, kind of plays out. But I mean, with Ovechkin, they're never really too far away or too far out of it. But the Bruins, I think they're going to be missing more key players here. I think that's going to go into the cohesion of this team initially to start off. I like the Capitals to take this one.
I'll agree with you, Minnie. I'm going to take Washington as well. Look, I think the Sharps most are going to prefer the underdog here, but given some of the reasons that you mentioned, I don't think $1.50 is actually too terrible of a price. I think with that total, I kind of was thinking over as well, but I think Washington, even though we're laying a little bit of a price here, I think Washington will be the side on the opening night for these 2 teams. I'll take the Caps and agree with you there. All right, Columbus is going to be at Carolina. We're going to have some, interesting numbers here. I gotta say, I mean, this is opening, basically opening night. And you're looking, I get it. I mean, Carolina, pretty good, pretty good. But man, 260, and that's too high. I mean, I'll update it. It's probably 250-ish or so, but 6 over 20.
Yeah, I don't know if it had to do with, the way that, last season ended up. There was an 8-1 Carolina victory. The Hurricanes have won their home opener here the last 3 years. Blue Jackets, but they do return 12 of their top 14 scorers. And it may give the Hurricanes a little bit of grief there as well. I'm going to go under the total in this one. Under is 15, 5-1 in the last 21 in Carolina. The under is 3-0-1 in Columbus, and the under is 5-1 in their last 6 games overall. I'm going to take the under 6 goals here, Ramon.
All right. I think the number, for the opening night, for this to be early in the season, I think these numbers are kind of, I get it. I mean, and Giorgio's got to play for us. Take a look. He likes Columbus on that puck
That's what I said. I
line.
think Columbus will be able to give him a little grief, so I don't blame him for taking that pick.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say right there. So thank you, Giorgio, for making my pick for me. That's what I was going to do right there. I just think this line a little bit too heavy. Mindy, I have it closer, probably 220 or so. I can't see it at even 250 at this point. I know 267 that I had up there. So maybe there is some action coming maybe there's a little bit of the sharp side on Columbus. It looks like the steam really took Carolina up early from $2 up to the 250 and higher, but now there's been some buyback, it looks like, on Columbus. So if I can get let's see, plus $2 or more here, I mean, I think for me, I thought maybe 185 was fair. So I'm gonna definitely take him at on the puck line, however, is what I'll do. But I think the price is right. So, all right, I'll be on Columbus. Me and you, Giorgio, no problem if we don't get this one done. You can blame it on me. There's another big favorite on the road, Toronto Maple Leafs. They're down to 255 now. Well, I'll update that. But the total, I'm showing some sevens out there now, even though it's heavily juiced, 7 under 35. The price on 6.5 probably is probably close minus 120, if not 125.
Yeah, I mean, Toronto here, they won the last matchup 5-1 in Montreal. Montreal got the number 1 pick in the draft here this last season. The bad news is that they're dealing with just a ton of injuries again here to start the season. Maple Leafs, set that franchise record last season, 115 points. But I'm going to think, I'm thinking here the Canadiens are going to be able to keep it close. The underdog, they're 5-2 in the last 7 meetings here. The home team's 4-0 in the last 4 meetings. I'm going to go and take Montreal here on the puck line, plus 1.5, minus 115 odds.
I'm all about it. Give me a consensus play with my Habs against their rivals, the Maple Leafs. I don't know. I really thought that about 225 was going to be more fair. Again, just another 30, 35 cents or so that I feel like early in the season, I'm ready to take an underdog here. I don't know what's going on. If these games are, are we playing these games? It's like we're playing the last week of the season or something.
Right.
So I've always loved the matchup between these two teams, and I'll take with Allen in the pipes here right now in there for Montreal. So showing a lot of sevens out there for sure. I don't know. Let's see what the 6 over is. Yeah, 6.5 over. It's way over that number now. Let me at least update that and show. So it's either 6.5 over 30, 35-ish, or 7 under 30 or 35-ish. So you're really getting to a point where we are expecting goals in this one tonight with Toronto and Montreal. So Toronto's not going to get them all. Otherwise, I guess it'd be about a $4 favorite like we got coming up. But I'll take Montreal also on the puck line, and we'll have ourselves another consensus play.
Consensus play.
Games so far in the NHL tonight.
All right.
Here's that. Let me update this one. So it's not 440 anymore. It's just a modest, 385-ish, which also seems just crazy. But we are talking about Colorado, of course, and the Blackhawks team that hasn't looked not looking too great heading into the season. So what can you do with this one, Mindy?
So our Chicago folks here, are they all, Blackhawks fans, or do they stay away from hockey? The Avalanche here, they're going to try to, definitely repeat, keep that winning streak alive here versus Chicago. Colorado's 8-1-1 in the last 10 games. Chicago is near the bottom of the pack offensively, only 2.6 goals per game, while allowing 3.52. It's really hard to win when you can't score as many as you give up. I think one of the biggest problems there was that kill percentage. It only sat at like 76.2%. Avalanche defensive front, I think, will just win this game, pretty much take over. The Blackhawks, I think, just needed to do a whole lot more to improve their roster here this season. I'm going to take the Blackhawks, or not the Blackhawks, the Avalanche on the puck line. Minus 1.5 goals here. I think it was
Yeah, well, again, I don't like the price, but at 440 and then the puck line price as well, I was really going to consider taking Chicago plus 2.5 and laying some juice, and I still might do that, but I don't want to give that out as a free play and make everybody take 2.5 goals with some juice, especially when I've got Mark, I've got Giorgio, I got Georgia saying lay the 2.5, don't take the 2.5.
Not messing around.
I'm not gonna, at least here on the show. Maybe I'll do it privately and take Chicago, because I just don't think anybody should be a $4 favorite on opening night. Maybe opening night is more special than in the middle of the season, so they're laying a big old price. Maybe Colorado will be $4 every time against Chicago, but I'll end up going under in this one. I think it will be a struggle, obviously, for Chicago to score. Colorado, if they get this win, you got to think it's 4-1 or so, maybe 4-2, but at 6.5, I'm still got that half a goal to play with. So I'm going to go under in Chicago and Colorado. And that's a good price at probably $1.05 or so.
$1.05.
$1.05. I made that term up myself. Okay.
I like it. I'm going to use that from now on.
Seattle, there you've got your Kraken hat on. And Grubauer is going to be in net going up against Anaheim and Gibby. And right now I'm showing Anaheim probably about $1.20 and 5/20. Maybe it's 5/20 now. Maybe the total's actually gone down a little bit. I'm expecting a low-scoring game.
Yeah, the Ducks were 2-1-0 last season versus Seattle. They were 27-49-6 in the season. They were pretty much last, the Kraken, with minus 69 goals on the season. But they were busy in the offseason. I think they're acquiring a lot of good talent. Ducks, on the other hand, minus 39 goals. Not a whole lot better. But they got 8 guys in free agency that I think will also, help them this season. But it's, again, I think we talk about like familiarity with teams and, putting out the best that they have out there. I think the Kraken, with these old and new players, they kind of have a little bit more of the camaraderie. They did beat the Ducks on their last, outing on the Ducks home turf, 4-3 last season. I'm going to take the Kraken plus 100 to start the season off right. Go Kraken. Plus 100.
I'm with you. Let's do it. We got to have at least a 3-pack here in the NHL. And at even money, I'm willing to take the Kraken in this one against Anaheim. I think they're poised for improvement again. They've obviously a decent little program considering their infancy still as a franchise. And Anaheim, they still got a lot to prove, I think, heading into the season that they can, be a playoff caliber team, right? So I don't know. I think Seattle's a good call here. I'm willing to take them at even money in this one against Anaheim on the road. Let's do it.
All right, consensus play.
We got 3 right now. Will we have a 4th? I don't know. We got one more game to look at. 3 is always a good number, Tony says, but we got to look at this one with Vancouver, Thatcher Demko going here for Vancouver. Edmonton, though still a big favorite, $1.90, total 6.5, probably under 15 now. So just a tick up to the over, but 6.5 under 15. Edmonton, a big favorite.
Yeah, Edmonton has always been my favorite, team ever since the way back with the Nintendo Blades of Steel. I always talk about that. It's like one of my favorite things. They were always my team that I picked back in the day to play all of my, gamings on the old gaming systems. Otherwise, for the U.S., I kind of tend to, root for the Blues a lot. But Edmonton, they topped the Canucks last season with 104 to 92 point advantage. Canucks were able to keep most of their team together in the offseason. So I think they have a little bit of, optimism, I would say, entering the season. But the Oilers, they did sign, back their goalie like we have up there, Campbell. They got him from the Maple Leafs. They also have, Connor McDavid, probably maybe arguably one of the better players. I like Edmonton here to score a bunch. I'm going to take the Oilers here on the puck line, -1.5 at +135.
All right. And just for fun, let's see what we got in the comments. See if we got a play here. Giorgio's our main picker here in the chat today. Anybody can throw their picks in there with us, and we'll put them in there. I may have missed one or two, but that's okay. But Giorgio says he's already got these Oilers in the big price parlay, and this is going to be, well, we can't have a 6-game card without having one disagreement. Mindy, I'll take Vancouver. They haven't beaten Edmonton in 4 straight, but that's okay. I'll take Thatcher Demko. He's my guy, and I'll take him on the puck line. So you'll lay the puck, you'll lay the goal and a half, and I'll take
challenge.
It. We don't even need to bet on this game. We have our own personal bet on this game with Vancouver and Edmonton. But we do have our 3-pack, Mindy. What do we got? Our consensus plays in hockey, huh?
Yeah, Capitals -150, Montreal +1.5, and the Kraken on the money line +100.
All right, Kraken.
Sounds like wins to me.
Yep, 3-pack. You can get all of our plays if you ever miss our premium or our consensus plays here on the show, which really is the whole theme of our show now. We never thought that was going to be the case, but I just look forward to it every day to see where our agreements will be and our disagreements. But again, we've been, doing pretty well. Maybe up and down the last couple of days, but all of our numbers are pretty good over at the website. So if you miss our premium picks, which are absolutely free, and you can go back on YouTube, we chop them up, we put them up there, each game individually. So you can go back and just get our plays for free that we agree on, the consensus plays every day here on Tony's Picks on the Morning Steam. But if you miss the show and you don't want to do the handiwork, if you will, of moving slider bars and stuff like that, we put the picks up for a small charge, and you can pick those up every day in a premium pick package over at Tony's Picks, or even get a little package long term with us where you guaranteed to get those picks every day from us over at Tony's Picks. So we would appreciate it. And thank you, Lucky Power, for your comments as well, to hit the like button. We're trying to grow our audience. And I'd say,
tell your friends about us.
On a Wednesday when we're packing a couple dozen people close in here, that's not bad. We're going to keep on growing it. And if you're listening to us on a podcast, for example, visit our website, Tony'sPicks.com, where we have our premium picks each and every day over at the website. These are absolutely our best picks every day at Tony'sPicks.com. And don't tell anybody, but you can use a promo code TonyT at checkout. If you never watch any of our shows or listen to them, you're not going to know about this. But you can use a promo code TonyT at checkout every single time you make a purchase with us. And all of our purchases are actually guaranteed to win, which kind of sounds like a big deal, right, Minnie? Like we're like, oh yeah, these touts, they're guaranteed to win. But that doesn't mean, we're going to win every game. I mean, we try to win every game, but hopefully we win more than your average Joe or your average capper. But if we don't show a profit, you get your credits back. You're not just wasting the money. You lose a bet and you paid a tout, a handicapper for the picks. If we don't hit the picks, don't show a profit on a 3-pack, for example, today with these 3 games, and you bought them over at the site, you get the $25 back or whatever we charge, $30 back, and you can use it on another premium pick packages. We know that this is,
we want you to win.
Yeah, some of this is, high-end luxury sports picks is what we're dealing here. So we appreciate your patronage, but we love the fact that you're here for our free picks analysis as well. So hopefully I covered that, not too elaborately, but all right, Mindy, we got college football next. We're going to transition into and resume our coverage this week. We've already covered many games on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel or the podcast and all that. You can go back and listen to many of the games. They've all even been chopped up into little bits and pieces, even the games where we don't have all the information yet, but we want to get them out there early. The games like Alabama, we don't know, who's going to be quarterbacking the Crimson Tide. Maybe we know, maybe we don't. Then today or yesterday, Mindy, with quarterback of Kansas, Daniel, right? They said, well, he's going to be out for the season. And then he tweeted out, not so fast.
Not so fast.
Who knows what's
Lee
going on in Kansas? We certainly want him in the lineup because we have Kansas. Even though the other quarterback looked fine as well, and Oklahoma's looking goofy, but you can go back and get all of our plays from all of those previous games that'll be played early on Saturday. So let's get right into it. Stop me talking and trying to fill in everybody. We'll just get right to the action.
Here we go.
And this is where we're resuming. Yeah, we're going to resume the action with late Saturday afternoon window. This is the is it the 4 o'clock hour?
It's 3 o'clock my hour, 4 o'clock Pacific.
Yes. 4 Eastern.
4 Eastern games. That's what we're going to start with. Okay. So we just do a little every day so we can get through this huge card throughout the week. So there's enough time for you guys to see these picks, do your due diligence, and then make your plays before the weekend. And get the best lines via Ramon, the best market handicapper in the United States.
Well, we'll see what happens, with some of these lines, and we see some movement already with these games. So this is where we're picking up where we left off. Game 149-150, Tulane and South Florida. Tulane opened as low as 10.5. They're now up to a 12-point favorite. This total really has been very, very steady. Maybe it opened 55. Now it's 54.5. If anything, Mindy, there was a lot of movement. I talked about the movement on some of the totals, and I just wasn't, I was like, did I see what I saw with a lot of the movement on these totals? And now I'm seeing a lot of the other handicappers, not that I'm looking for any kind of reassurance from other cappers, but I follow other national cappers, and it is a hot topic of discussion how hard these many of these totals were hit early in the week. This one, though, hasn't had any movement really.
Tulane defeated ECU last week, 24-9. South Florida lost its fourth straight to Cincinnati, 24-28. They also, kind of lost in a blowout, 2 weeks prior, 28-48. Tulane has that 14th ranked defense. And they only give up about 13 points a game. So for me, I can kind of see why it's, ticking up here on Tulane. They have, a proven record here against the spread. They're 4-0 in their last 4 conference games. I'm also going to be with Tulane laying the 12 here, Ramon.
All right, I'll jump on with you and lay the points with Tulane. Not thrilled about it, but my number's 15. Not thrilled that we could have. I don't think we could have
a little bit more. 11. Yeah.
I don't. You know what? Could we? I don't know if we really could have. It went up pretty quickly, and it could go up. It could continue to go up, but I think everybody's talking about Tulane. They continue to look good, right? How did they ever lose that game to Southern Miss? But you mentioned the South Florida game against Cincinnati. That was a wild one. Kind of back and forth. I think it really could have went either way. But I think Tulane, like you said, they bring the defense as well. And I think that's going to be critical here because I kind of was leaning towards the under as well. My total number on this was about 51 and a half. So that was the other way that I was maybe going to look. If you want to consider that a free play, we're giving out an official free play here, a consensus play on Tulane. They beat them last year, Mindy, 45-14. Now I know that was at home, but I'll take them. I'll take Tulane with you. We'll lay 12 points.
See, look, we could have got Tulane minus 11 2 days ago.
Yep. Well, we could have. That's all right. We're laying 12.
We're only on a day per day basis here on this one, trying to give you the best picks out there.
Oh, I see. Mark didn't have 11. Yeah, but again, I think we might be beating beating a little bit here. Let's get it today. And if you're going to tail us, get it today as well. Because, again, I think you could see this one go up even further. Because I think a lot of people are starting to talk about Tulane just as Mindy and I just did, and what they're doing against. And South Florida, look, that wasn't a bad effort, I thought, against Cincinnati. But Tulane's getting a lot of attention, certainly right now. Mark says it's going to go up, up, up. Let's get it now. Speaking of teams, it's going up. I mean, wow. James. I think that James Madison might, when they finally debut the BCS rankings, James Madison might be there by the time this one's done. I mean, geez, Mindy, they can't even win the conference title because of their status as a new joinee, if you will. So every game is like a playoff game, I think, kind of for them, because they can't really win anything but games. So they're a big favorite here. It's getting a little scary. It's getting a little hairy. Georgia Southern, they're not anything special though right now. James Madison, pretty big favorite here. Again, they're awesome. They're one of the best. They're one of the best spread teams in the country. And one of the best teams in the country. I mean, when I say that, I mean, yeah, top 50-ish. But I mean, maybe top 40.
Right. I mean, plus, they've been able to cover some decent spreads, like -22s, -11 last week,
By margin, by big margins.
Right. They outgained Arkansas State last week, but, 598 yards, average 7 yards per play, 33 first downs. So really putting a nice season together. Georgia Southern's coming off that loss to Georgia State. I think we had Georgia Southern in that one. But they did manage to score 33 with 5 turnovers, which is kind of the name of the game there in that one. But I mean, I think the name, kind of where this one's going is this one. It's going to be basically on the defensive side. James Madison, they're just not giving up any points. They've been tough on the defensive side, 24th in the NCAA. Georgia Southern to give up about 30 points per game. I'm looking towards the under in this one. I think it's going to be a little bit, lopsided. If I go with a 30-15 score, a 30-10, a 35-10. I mean, I'm all like way under this total at 67. That's where I'm going to be on this game, Ramon.
All right. Well, to me, I'm starting to get scared. I mean, there's no reason not to love James Madison. They continue to exceed expectations, like you said, big time right now. I mean, they do have incredible defense, and wow, the offense too, with their big yardage numbers now. A 500-yard type of team, but Georgia Southern, 2 straight losses. They can pass, so I'm kind of worried about what you said about the total, about you liking it under, because again, the best of the numbers long gone as far as the total is concerned. Opening at 63.5 and now up to 67, but Georgia Southern does, struggle on defense. So, but it's just the numbers scaring me. I'm going to take Georgia Southern against my better judgment, because should probably be 9. 9 or 10. I don't want to be that guy, but I'm going to take Georgia Southern. I'm not doubting James Madison can win this game, but when does the bubble burst for this team right now? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't, but double digits on the road. Georgia Southern, they're not awful, are they? Take Georgia Southern. Mindy's giving out the under 67. All right. Oh, boy. Wisconsin, talk about ups and downs. Wisconsin, they can run for 200 yards or 2 yards. You just don't know what you're going to get with Wisconsin. But right now, they're kind of getting it going after the coaching change. Maybe there's some positive things going on there. They're a 7.5-point favorite. Michigan State is at a kind of a recent historic low right now. And that's why you see Wisconsin touchdown favorite here on the road.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I'm looking at things too. I thought if Wisconsin, after the coaching change, was going to have some issues, it would have been a letdown versus Northwestern last week. Instead, beat them handily 42-7. And then Michigan State lost to Ohio State again, 20-49, fourth loss in a row. Again, like you said, a pretty low point for this Michigan State team. Wisconsin's defense, then, they're still hanging in there, 58th in the country, giving up only 19 points a game. Michigan State, they're surrendering about 27. I think Wisconsin's going to go back to running the ball as they should, controlling the clock. They average 173 yards on the ground. Their defense only allows 3.6 yards per rush on the opposing teams. Even more, Michigan State, they're 0-4 in the last 4 games overall against the spread as well. I mean, they're not even keeping them close. I think I'm going to go Wisconsin here in this one on the road, -7.5.
Yeah, this is one where we definitely saw a move. The odds makers just flubbed it up, let a bunch of people get some really good numbers, maybe even as low as like 4, 4.5. It quickly shot up to 7.5, and most of the market was able to get, has to lay 7.5 like Mindy does here. And I might not mind that right now with Wisconsin. I mean, they ripped Northwestern and they ran it up on them, really. They got that late touchdown on them, too. They were passing with that big lead with like a couple minutes left, put up another touchdown on them. Well, when you're playing Northwestern and you've had a series like they've had, I get it, but it didn't look that cool for the new coach. MSU, they were kind of a disaster against the Buckeyes, as expected, but what was it, 600-200 or something like that? And Wisconsin's been just dominant in this series, 68-6 in the last 3 meetings. To me, that only averages, maybe 4 touchdowns, if that. So I'm going to end up going under in this one. I've actually got it. I probably should give it out as a premium, but I don't want to lay the points still now with Wisconsin. I might, maybe I'll turn it into a premium, but it does worry me a little bit. I'll go under. I've got it 43 on the total, so I think 49 is a pretty comfortable number for me. I'll go under in Wisconsin and Michigan State. That one actually has gone up, it looks like, from last when I checked, I had it at 47.5. So maybe you can wait on that. I don't know. Okay, Louisiana Tech is going to take on North Texas, and Louisiana Tech here is favored by 6.5. Should be a wild one.
A wild one.
These guys usually play wild games, so the total 68.
Yeah, I mean, Tech, they're 1-5-1 against the spread last 7 road games, 2-6-1 in their last 9 conference games. So really struggling in conference play against the spread anyway. North Texas defeated UTEP 41-31. They do have their 29th ranked offense, rolling up 476 yards per game, which is well over 100 more than their opponent here in this matchup. I think the big difference is going to be on the ground. North Texas, they average about 214 yards a game. Louisiana Tech, 97. So, I mean, they're really dependent on the pass. North Texas, I think they're going to use the running game again here to control the ball offensively. I think North Texas is going to win here by a touchdown.
All right. Yeah, I'll go with you on this. Look, Louisiana Tech last week, 41-31. They have won 7 of the last 9 games with them, but I rate the game. Yeah, I rate it pretty close to the number. And I know you said by a touchdown too, so I know there's not a lot of comfortability there. These two teams usually have very strong offenses, but they still rarely reach 70 points. So I think that's going to reflect on Louisiana Tech's. They might not be able to hold up their end of the bargain, is what I'm thinking, despite the big numbers they put up last week. So let's go ahead and lay 6.5 here. I think that's fine. Let's make a consensus play.
North Texas.
Yeah, I do have my number a little, just a little bit higher than this, and the fact that you like it and I like I said, if it's two, mild opinions, well, we're still on the same side, so maybe we are onto something. That's what's been proven to us so far that seems to be working with our consensus picks. So let's go on North Texas minus 6.5 here. I don't think it will be as wild as it looks on paper. Yeah, I don't think it will be as wild as it looks on paper. Hint, hint. So, This one might be as wild as it looks on paper when Arizona takes on Washington. I don't know if the defenses are playing with like 9 or 10 guys or something, but uh, right now these teams are kind of looking porous. Washington is a 2 touchdown favorite. The total's up to 72.5.
Yeah, I mean, I know Washington has this really high-powered offense, ranked 19th in the nation. They average 498 yards per game. But yet,
Practically the best passing offense for sure, like number 2, right? Or
well, I mean, a lot of folks are, seeing, Penix here as, a candidate for Heisman, but he just has to win more games on the road in order to be able, to do that. Arizona, they do put up quite a few points. But their defense is kind of like a sieve, also giving up 34. So it's going to be interesting, I think, how this one's going to go. I mean, Washington, they do convert third downs at a higher rate. Penix, like we talked about, averaging 340 yards per game. But it's like I just don't know if Washington is back at that form that they were, beginning of the season. I think that this Arizona team might give them a little bit of trouble. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take the under 72. I feel like Washington's just been a little bit down these last couple games. They are a little bit sloppy turning the ball over. And I don't know if that's something they can get over, one game at home here versus an Arizona team that can also score points. So it could give them a little grief. I think there might be, to score 72, that's a lot of possessions. And this might go back and forth to cause that to be, less overall scoring chances.
yeah, especially when there were lines early as low as 66.5, laying a full 6 points more. And I kind of disagree with you, but I'm not going to give it out as even a free play at that number. I think it's got more of a chance to go over than it does under. I'll just leave it at that. But again, I think it's kind of close to exactly where I was thinking at 72.5. I mean, at 66.5, I might have had something. I might have even had something at 68 or 69. But to me, I agree what you said about Arizona. I think maybe Washington's defense, they might get into one of these games that we're seeing right now in the Pac-12. But look, Oregon, the game. I look at the game that last week. What was that game? U of A, like 49-22.
Or something.
Yeah, Arizona really they let me down a little bit. I thought they would have more offense, but I don't know. The home teams do put up a big number in this series, averaging like over 40 points a game. But Washington, they had a wild game with ASU, and ASU still got the money. So I think Arizona getting 2 touchdowns. That's the way I'm going to look. I'm going to take U of A plus 14. I'd like to have more points, but I don't think you're going to get it anymore. Let me see right now. It is indeed 14, and it could have had it. I think I could have had 15.5. Not the best number. I'll take Arizona, though, as my free play.
Arizona.
All right. Well, I gotta like the Owls in this one.
I like the Owls as well, Ramon.
Florida Atlantic, and Florida Atlantic Owls are a 3.5-point favorite over the Rice Owls, and the total 56.5.
The Battle of the Owls. Yeah. Rice is coming off that win at UAB. Rice has kind of surprised me, this season here. Florida Atlantic, they lost to North Texas, but, scored 28 points there in that loss. FAU gained 456 yards of total offense. Rice, on the other hand, averaged a little bit lower, 369. I think Atlantic here kind of has the edge on the offensive side. And Rice is 2-6 against the spread their last 8 road games. I think I'm going to take the home team here to cover this one here, Ramon.
I'm on with you. On that. I mean, look, this isn't the old FA. This isn't Lane Kiffin. This isn't even in the Howard Schnellenberger. But Rice has been a pleasant surprise, no doubt about it. And they're getting, I think they're getting the attention of sharps here. So I'm going to end up fading my guys. But they're drastically improved defensively. I know I'm talking up a good game for Rice here, but I've got this one closer to double digits really right now with Florida Atlantic. Rice does kind of give it up a little bit for sure. I think the Owls can definitely score some points. We could get into 60 points with this one. Not saying it's a premium, but I think will be a high scoring game that certainly will be over maybe I won't get on the total because it was as low as 53.5 and now it's 56.5. I don't might kind of get on the window there one, but I do like Florida Atlantic, and I think laying just 3.5. My number's 6, Mindy. Let's take Florida Atlantic.
You got it.
And I say that I think they get it by double digits. I do think that, but my hard numbers were 6. But I think I like Florida Atlantic. That's where we talk about using your numbers, but also using your gut and your handicap. So there I combine, show you how I think a little bit as far as using my numbers or using trends or using your eye test. That's all good. You can do whatever you want, folks.
Every handicapper is different.
Yep. So we're on the Florida Atlantic Owls and not the Rice Owls.
Right.
Okay, well, you're going to see what happens here. We're getting some SEC action with LSU and Florida. Definitely questions surrounding this. Should be a better game than it is right now, but still going to be a close game with Florida just barely a field goal favorite and the total 51. Who's going to finally have a good game?
The battle of the 4 and 2s, right? I mean, LSU lost a pretty lopsided game to Tennessee, 13-40. Florida won theirs against Missouri, 24-17. While Florida beat Missouri, they did struggle on offense, only 66 passing yards, 13 first downs, 2 turnovers, and we're only 3 of 11 on third downs. LSU, they've had the better defense so far, only allow 19 points. They rank 54th in the nation. I think LSU here, they're just going to be able to, overcome this home field advantage in the swamp with their defense. I'm going to take LSU in the points. I hope I get it at 3 closer to game time. That's kind of where I'd go.
Yeah, and right now, you're laying just minus 105, so it's not exactly inexpensive to buy it up to 3. You might be, pressing $1.30 or so, but not bad if you really need that 3. But yeah, I thought it was kind of a new level of embarrassment kind of against Tennessee because there was more expectation, but Daniels was under pressure, and he's been under pressure quite a bit. I like Daniels, but he's definitely been chased around quite a bit out of the pocket, and he is a good runner, but not as good as maybe he should be or he has been. So, look, Florida, they've definitely been inconsistent on offense, and LSU, they've shown a lot of fight. I don't have a problem with that, Mindy, but what you said, I think, about the defense is kind of spot on. I know that, these have been 2 wild games in the past 2 years, LSU winning 49-42 last year, 37-34 the year before, but the way LSU is playing their defense and they're kind of relying on their defense, and the fact that Florida, they're playing a little bit of defense as well. I'm going to go under 51. I think I got it at 47 was my handicap. So I will go under in the LSU Florida game. Mindy is on the LSU Tigers. Arkansas State and Southern Miss. Southern Miss, a 4-point favorite here, and the total 54.5.
Yeah, I mean, Arkansas has been playing, some good ball as of late. They're 5-0 against the spread their last 5 road games, 5-1 in their last 6 games overall, while Southern Miss 0-4 against the spread in their last 4 conference games. Both these teams are coming off, losses. Arkansas State lost 20-42 to James Madison, who we talked about has been kind of putting a whooping on teams here.
They weren't terrible. No, they weren't terrible against the juggernauts.
Yeah, and then Southern Miss, got beat by Troy pretty good, 27-10. Arkansas State, they struggle on defense, but they score a lot of points. They also kind of
passing for sure.
I think Arkansas, they really have the offense this game to probably stay close to Southern Miss. Southern Miss, though, they kind of worry me a little bit. I mean, I think they're playing well enough to cover the spread. So I'm going to look at going over the total. I think it's going to be a real shootout between these two teams. Not sure I like the spread so much, even though Arkansas State has some of those good trends of covering. I'm going to look to over 54.5.
Yeah, Arky State, they like I said, they weren't bad, I thought, against JMU, but they don't really rush the ball very well. I mean, they're all about the passing game, right? And they don't have a very balanced offense, and they're pretty bad defensively. But Southern Miss, they kind of struggle offensively right now, and averaging, what'd you say, 18 points a game, and 4.5, 5 yards per play, not 5 yards per play at all, closer to 4.5, I think. And they do kind of turn it over as well. So I'm going to take Arky State plus the 4 points in this one. Maybe they can get a win, but I think it's going to be a close game. Toss-up could be a wild one with this, like I said, good passing. Yes, Southern Miss does struggle, but Arkansas's defense is pretty bad. Maybe Southern Miss will have an above par game, and that's what you're calling for. So maybe both teams get close to 30 points in this one.
Need to.
Monroe is going to take on South Alabama, and South Alabama here a 17-point favorite. The total is 51.5. That's down from an opener of 55.5.
Geez, I mean, South Alabama's been playing some good ball this year. They're only lost to 1 point to UCLA, and we know that UCLA has been pretty dominant versus a lot of teams here this season. I think Ramon was on South Alabama in that game. They scored 15 more points than Monroe, defensively holding them to 17 points less. I think they, do well on third down efficiencies. They're ranked 28th in the NCAA. I think South Alabama will just outplay these guys on both sides of the ball, easily cover that minus 17 spread.
Yeah, ULM, what a job they did against Coastal in the second half. They shut out the mighty Chanticleers in a bit of a surprise in the second half of that game. Now, South Alabama, they're having a pretty great time of it right now. I'm pretty impressed with the Jags, and ULM may end up with a pretty low number, I think, in this game, Mindy. I know that last year was 41-31. My notes say here that's a pretty high score, but I don't think it's getting there. There's revenge on the mind also. We're your favorite. Revenge on the mind for South Alabama. I think they're really going to hold ULM down. I don't want to lay those points with you. I'm scared. My number is right about there anyways at 18. So I've already missed out on 4 points on the total. So I'm not even getting close to the best of it. So I've got to go under as a free play here, 51.5. Anything, if I could have got 53 or 50, it would have been a premium. So it's close to it. It's still close to a premium here because my number is considerably lower than 50. Even 51, as I had it at 49. I don't say considerably as 2.5 points, but would have been nice to get it at 55.5. I'll give it as a free play here. So Mindy's got South Alabama, and I've got Monroe. I've got the under. That's what I've got. All right, those Colorado State Rams, they do not look good, and they are a double-digit underdog here to Utah State, a team that's not exactly lighting the world on fire. And Utah State, though, 11-point favorite, total 46.
Yeah, I don't see our man Matt in the chat today. That is the Colorado State fan. I was trying to find any sort of way that I could, pick Colorado State in this game, but I'm having a hard time. But both teams, they won their last game after losing their previous 4. So maybe Colorado State is, going to get back into this. But Utah State defeated Air Force 34-27. Utah State, I think, they're coached pretty well. I think both of these defenses, though, they still struggle. So again, it's going to be kind of hard for me to try to, pick a side here in this one. For Colorado State, the over is 4-1 the last 5 conference game. Utah State, the over is 5-2 in the last 7. With these two defenses, I think my pick has to be over the 46 here in this one, Ramon.
Look, I don't have much that I can offer you in the handicap other than those trends, which I have actually jotted down in my notes, but you gave them so perfectly about this matchup because Colorado State, they're just so bad offensively, but the defenses here, I've got this one definitely rated, closer to 50, maybe even a little bit above 50. And I've kind of wanted to downgrade it a little bit even further because of Colorado State's terrible offense. Now, Utah State, they've had two big covers, right? So
Yeah.
the Rams are bad, but they kind of broke through a little bit against Nevada. So maybe they can get something going offensively. And if not, Utah State is kind of like your insurance plan here. They actually might be able to roll up a big enough number on Colorado State. You see the line there at 11. It opened as low as 9. So I think there is some sharp action or maybe it's public, whatever. But Utah State kind of looks like the side here. So Colorado State, they got poor offense, not very good defense either. So maybe Utah State helps us, but we've got a consensus play here, I think. I wasn't going to, go on it solo. I probably was going to give out Utah State, but the fact that you like the over, that gets me, like I said, when we have just some leans, even free plays, that now convinces me because I was like, man, I really want to downgrade the total here because I think that Colorado State's bad enough. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe my high number should be more like, what the total you see there is, which was kind of like my low window. Maybe my low window was more like 47.5.
Right.
But my high window was actually much, much higher than my median at 51. It was up to 54. So, but I had to throw that one out. It's kind of like,
outlier.
the old thing, right, where you throw away. Sometimes I throw away the biggest number and I throw away the lowest number. And use the rest of it as my gauge. And that's kind of what I'm doing here with this one. And it's going to put me on the over with Mindy in a consensus play. All right, so that's a look at our college football. We'll continue on with more college football tomorrow on the show when we pick up right where we left off. So join us for that tomorrow. And I don't know, Mindy and I will discuss it. We're going to, cover a few more games, but we also want to have some coverage also, for Saturday. So, we'll see how many games we tackle, but we got hockey here. And, well, I don't know, Mindy, how much we could cover a little bit. I think we did okay on our leans or whatever we had yesterday. Let me see our NBA sheet yesterday because there was kind of a big card yesterday and a big card today. This is just preseason action. So I don't think we're going to offer a lot of breakdowns here, but we know people are interested. And, well, I've hit 2 in a row on my, Twitter picks. And again, like I said, I was, leaning to try to get something in the premium, but it's kind of like beta, right? I mean, I want to see some results where I'm having success with the way I look at things in the preseason because everyone knows it's a tough handicap. You could actually dig in very, very deep and have a strong advantage over the book, but you have to wait, and get your last minute information in because of lineups and things that are involved in NBA preseason. So I'm more going on generalizations and my numbers for what I have in the games, and then kind of going from there. And I'm 2-1 right now. I think right in NBA preseason premium pick. So it's like whatever. I mean, maybe there'll be 1 or 2 more. Maybe there'll be 5 more. But let's look at the games today. I know you have your numbers at least available, and I imagine we'll come to some agreements here because it's an 8-game card. So I think we will have some consensus plays here. I just don't know, if they're strong enough or what have you. So the Hornets are at the Sixers, and I'm going to bring it up here because, like I said, these games this is where we've seen the movement where I entered these totals in about 90 minutes ago when they first came out.
Yeah.
And now we may even see some movement. So this one, 8.5 and 219, that does look like the line currently. But I did show that the Hornets did open The Sixers opened as low as -7 here.
Okay. Yeah. I was looking towards the under 219 here in this one, Ramon.
Okay. Yeah, I wasn't so sure on the total here. I think in that one, I think I don't want to lay a big number here with Philly, and I'm kind of interested in giving out a free play. So my number and my preseason number is 9. It's barely a lean, right? That's a lean, if you will, because I've got my number at 9. I might have laid 7 with on here a little bit more confidently as a free play, but I'll go Philadelphia -8.5, the slightest of leans.
The
And I
slightest
always make fun of those leaners, but it's preseason, kids.
Right.
All right, another game coming up here: Hawks and Cavs. Cavs are a 2-point favorite. This total has already dropped to 223.5.
Yeah, and I was looking towards the Hawks in this one. Cavaliers coming off of the loss yesterday. So I'll take the, what is it, +2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm on it with you. Let's take it. Let's have one. Let's have one. I think the Hawks will win this game. I've got them actually a 4-point favorite here in this one on the road. So let's take the Hawks. That's almost that almost would be a premium, but again, just kind of baiting it. But Mindy and I are going to give you a consensus play right here
Look
in
at us
the
go.
in NBA preseason. How about that? The Knicks are a road favorite here. Maybe it's 4.5 right now. The total pretty solid here at 223.5.
And I was looking at the Knicks -4 here in this one, Ramon.
Okay, I'm going to go just over in this one. For me, I had it at 225, so take it for what it's worth. If you think that's a big enough advantage for you to put a significant amount of money, do so. But maybe these NBA plays you're just throwing a couple of 20, a 20 spot or something, right? And keep you interested when you're
Right.
whipping through the scores when you're watching the big baseball game or watching hockey. Or maybe you're really into this NBA card, so that's why I want to at least cover these lines as we get closer to the season, less than a week away now. And how about Miami with a favorite here? They're a 4-point favorite now. The total 217.
Yeah, and I was looking to the over in this one, over 217.
All right, Mindy says go over in New Orleans and Miami, and for me, I will end up actually taking New Orleans. I've got the Heat here, favored by about 2.5 points or so, according to my numbers, and so I'll just take New Orleans +4. I like taking these dogs in the preseason a little bit; they've been all right. Nets and the Bucks. Bucks are a 3-point favorite, and that total is definitely 227.5.
Looking at the Bucks, -3 here at home.
All right, boy, can I say my number is pretty much right where these are, and not much to go off with any trends or anything. So I'm sorry. I should join you because you've been so nice with giving us your numbers and your picks, but I'm gonna take a pass on the Nets and the Bucks. Not sure what's going to happen. Timberwolves, Lakers. Lakers a 1-point favorite here. Total. I don't think that total's right. It's two. Yeah, it is 223.
Yeah, let me update that here. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like the Timberwolves in this one at +1.
Alrighty, and I'll have to join you there. Let's have another premium. Let's have a consensus. We talked about the other night with the Lakers and the Warriors, but the Warriors even care. Now we see the Warriors. That gives us a chance to talk about the Warriors, even though they're not playing tonight. And Green will pay a fine only for his actions against Poole in practice. Getting a little bit of the Warriors are getting a little bit of heat for that action because you'd think it would deserve some type of suspension, or what are the Warriors going to do moving forward? Because a lot of people in the Twitter land was like, "Oh, that stuff happens all the time." I don't think it does. I don't really. There's a fight in practice, and there's a
Punch.
point blank cheap shot, right? I
Yeah.
mean, there's a fight. Two guys are pushing and shoving, or blah blah blah. The guys get all jumbled up and mixed up or whatever. But and it kind of speaks of what we already know about Draymond's personality. There's no hiding the fact that most people who've sat courtside know what Draymond's game is all about and have heard him with his, his choice language and all that, getting away with a lot of things where maybe, especially in a game where fans are so close to courtside, the NBA should do more things about situations like that, especially if everyone else is supposed to conduct themselves with a certain decorum. But I digress. Let's take Minnesota here, +1 as a premium. We're not even talking about the Warriors. This is the Timberwolves and the Lakers. All I was saying was the Timberwolves. The Warriors look about as interested as the Lakers. Maybe that's why the Lakers were actually able to get a win. We already know they're crummy against the number, and the Wolves will come in here and get the win, and Minnie and I will take them as a premium, as a consensus play. And Sacramento at Phoenix 6.5, 216, showing it down to 6 right now.
Yeah, and I got the over in this one, Ramon, over the 216.
All right, I'm gonna have to take another pass on that. Just can't do anything right now. It doesn't mean I won't do anything later. Could have a premium, you never know. But right now, gonna take a pass. So thank you for helping me out here with some picks on these. I just don't have a great handicap on some of these preseason. Your numbers are pretty solid. Here I might have something though. Clippers 3.5-point favorite, and the total here is 214.
Yeah, this is like my closest one on the card here. I have the Clippers winning by 0.158. So it's hard to get any closer than that one. So I do have a lean there to the Clippers, but it's really, really small. So, I mean, what I'm going to take a look at is the over 214 is going to go ahead and be my play.
All right. And I will be in disagreement with you. I like the under. I actually like the under quite strong. If I did have a play that was going to qualify for a premium today, it actually would be on the under in this one. So I'm sorry, Mindy, that we are in disagreement.
Like I said,
here.
this one is my hardest one on the card.
Right.
I mean, everything was so close. I just have the under by 3 points here.
Okay. I have one play that is stronger that I'm kind of reserving that I may end up as a premium today. So I'll just make that clear. But out of the plays that I just gave out, that total is my strongest play of the games that we just went through. Even this NBA preseason, take it for what it's worth. Bet what you want or what you can afford, or don't go crazy in the preseason, I think is what we're trying to say here. At this point, if I give a premium out, you better be putting at least $1 real, you know what I mean, a sawbuck on $2. The game on a premium. Yeah, I think a premium pick is worth at least $100 for a premium pick. When the research is done and you feel confident, I've went 2-1 so far. I may have one premium today, so be on the lookout for that if you want to. Hook up with me tonight. Check out our premium pick packages over at Tony'sPicks.com. Mindy, what do you think you'll have over there today?
Yeah, so I'm going to be having a one play in the NBA preseason, so you can look out for that. Yeah, I know. There's if you look through it, it's mired in the whole, workup of that card. But yeah, I'm going to have that. And then I have my Major League Baseball best bet. And I'm going to take a look at that football game here again as well. I'd like to go ahead. Everything that I'm giving out right now for hockey, it's more leans, not necessarily something, that I feel comfortable enough to have, folks bet on yet. I usually wait till I get some matchups, at least about 3 games in on each of them. So I can see where teams are actually, going. So no NHL for me here, probably for a couple days yet, maybe by the weekend. So I'll probably have 3 plays in there for sure today.
Well, take a look right now. There's the handicapper leaderboard right now for the last 7 days. And Mindy, even I can figure that out. You're hitting 60%, up 5 units on the week. So doing pretty well. Nick right now, certainly red hot, close to 70% right there with his 1251 units. Sam's getting it done as well. Paul and Tony still cruising along. Got to figure there's some baseball in there elsewhere. So the site's all updated. We can take a look at that leaderboard. But one thing we got to fix, now you're doing well. You're up here on the algorithm board of the all cappers tab where you can get signed up. But I'm concerned because look at the morning's team down here right now. That would indicate that we are not as hot as we were. So let's get
we just had 2 bad days. That's all.
Today. Let's get it going today, right? Our numbers are pretty strong still. So we'll turn that get that going today. You got all the free picks here from us on the morning steam consensus plays. So we'll get on out of here. Our 90 minutes is up. We appreciate everybody and in the comments. So awesome to have you here today. And everybody watching in the chat, we're really impressed. I'm looking at that number right now and the fact that we're into the show. And it's a modest little number, to be honest. But I'm very, very happy and excited that it is what it is and that you all were here to watch the entire show. And again, all of our shows are archived. All the picks are archived, not only on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, but all over the internet right now with a bunch of podcasting, all the main podcasting sources, the top 5 that are out there. So you can go through and get our picks on there as well every day. So that was a very exciting development as well. So use that promo code Tony T at checkout, save 20% off all of our premium pick packages. So Mindy Lamont wants I don't know, recap. I'm not sure, Lamont, but
yeah, we can do a recap real quick. We had the Hawks +2.
Oh, the NBA. Maybe means the NBA, right? Yeah.
And then the Timberwolves +1. And I can run down. We had the Capitals -150, Montreal +1.5, the Kraken +100, Tulane -12, North Texas -6.5, Florida Atlantic -4, Utah State, Colorado State over 46. So I know it's fast, but you can rewind and do it all and come back and find us.
Yeah. Or you could subscribe to a premium pick packages where you get all of our consensus plays every day. That way, if you missed the show, our picks are still there. We want to see you here every day. We appreciate you so much, but you can actually throw us a bone. I don't know if I sound like I'm begging, but it's pretty inexpensive. You just hook up for a month or something. I think you'll find it well worth it. So great job, Mindy. We'll see you tomorrow. Appreciate everyone joining us here for more.
Go Padres. Go
Padres team. Oh gosh, I'm nervous.
Kraken.
Maybe we need to get one before we come back home. Maybe
this is the one you need to get.
Yeah. All right. For Mindy Hahn, I'm Ramon Scott. Thank you for joining us.